Hey, Albert here with Mainland Cycle Center, and today we're going to take a look at the 2021 Kawasaki Vulcan 1700 Voyager. We haven't done a Voyager video in a few years, I don't think. Don't know exactly when the last one I did was, and the bike really has not changed any since then, but I thought it maybe made sense to do an updated video for those who are maybe don't know that and don't know that the 2021 model is essentially the same as a 2017 or 18 model, outside of color and price, that kind of thing. But the Voyager's great bikes. So the 2021 model has an MSRP of $17,699. That's up $200 from the 2020 model that had an MSRP of $17,499. And these bikes really, when Kawasaki has a little bit of rebate on these, and especially if you're dealing with a highly motivated dealer such as, I don't know, Mainland Cycle Center, we currently have a 2020 model in stock, 1700 Voyager, that is brand new, and it is currently on sale $14,299. So when you get some rebates, you're dealing with an aggressive dealer that's not afraid to sell motorcycles, such as Mainland Cycle Center, you can really get a great deal on one of these, and I think a lot of value for that money on these bikes. So 1700cc class V twin. These are have a 6-speed transmission. They're liquid cooled, of course they're fuel injected. These have hydraulic valve lash adjusters, so there's no valve clearance requirements to do. These are belt drive, so there's no chain to lubricate or adjust, and there's no drive shaft gear case oil to change, so low maintenance on that front. These have 4-piston calipers on the front with dual discs, so nice stopping power. They come standard with the driving lights or fog lights, as well as a nice big bright clear glass halogen front headlight. All of these lights are halogen on the front, and then of course very traditional looking amber turn signals there. Lower leg fairings, those have vents that open and close, so right here you can open and close these vents. Nice big driver floorboards with a nice big brake pedal, as well as a passenger floorboard, and these both have this cushioned rubber there to absorb any vibration, and then of course has the bars here to protect the saddlebags in the event of a tip over, as well as the front highway bar there. Nice big saddlebags. Unfortunately, I didn't bring the key out, and these saddlebags are locked, so I won't be able to open them. But these lids, this is the hinge for them, and they open this way. And but the trunk is unlocked, so we can open that one. So it has a nicely finished little tray in here. Depending on what kind of helmets, this will hold a couple of half helmets for sure. Depending on the full face helmets, I don't think you can quite get 2 full face helmets in there. Nice wrap around backrest for your passenger, as well as very nicely upholstered seats. These seats are pretty nice. I guess if you just do a lot of long days, you might want to look at an upgraded seat, but I have ridden these bikes quite a bit, and I find the stock seat is quite good. These also have air suspension, so the shocks, you can adjust the air pressure in those shocks, so an air spring. It's not like it does not have an onboard pump that you can raise and lower on the fly, but you can with an air gauge and air hose adjust the shock. We actually sell a little pump that you should carry to do that with. I did mention this has a 6-speed transmission. What is cool about the 6-speed transmission on these is 5th and 6th gears on these are both in overdrive. And when we say overdrive, what we mean is that for every one turn of the input shaft, meaning into the transmission, you're actually getting more than one turn out of the transmission. So you're overdriving the transmission. And what that means for you is that on this bike in 6th gear, at highway speeds, you can run 90 miles an hour on this bike, and the RPMs are nice and low. But what that also means on this bike is if you go and test drive one of these, don't shift into 6th gear too soon. So if you're at 55 miles an hour at 6th gear, you're really in too high a gear, and the bike's gonna lug and not feel just right. And so I always have to tell people when they demo ride one of these, not to really use 6th gear probably much before 70 miles an hour for sure, because you can stay in 5th gear and it's still going to keep your RPMs low. You get in 6th gear, now you just have no power to pull that 6th gear at that low RPM. But great looking gauges. When Kawasaki built this bike, they were really kind of going for a kind of a muscle bike look, and it has these great chrome trimmed gauges, analog fuel gauge, analog speedometer, analog tachometer, and analog temp gauge, as well as a nice LCD display here. It has gear position, tells you your fuel economy, distance to empty, odometer, trip meters, all of that kind of good stuff. And then these also have an onboard audio system, 2 speakers in the dash. You can also add the leads to connect helmet headsets to this, and that is the intercom, and that stuff is built in. You just have to buy the leads and the headsets and you'll be in business. There's also a 12-volt power outlet right down here on the fairing. Also, your ignition switch here on the dash. So this is designed so that you put your key in, turn the bike on, and then take your key out and put it in your pocket. And that way your key won't scratch the dash or rattle or anything like that. And then when you stop, you just turn it off, and you don't need your key again until you get ready to go again. So if you're driving your Voyager or your Vaquero with your key in the ignition, stop it. You don't need to be doing that. The idea is that you won't scuff up and mar the motorcycle with your keychain or other keys on there as well. These are some controls to set the electronic cruise control. This is equipped with electronic cruise control. And then also to toggle the dash, hazard lights, engine kill, start. Pretty standard stuff there. And then over here we've got horn button, high and low beam, your turn signals. This does have self-canceling turn signals, meaning they will cancel by themselves. And then volume control to tune in a radio station, to scroll through your presets, to scroll through your audio modes, so AM, FM, weather band, and the auxiliary input. You can actually buy a little kit to aux in with the bike there. This is not equipped with Bluetooth, but you can add one of those little Bluetooth adapters with that aux input pretty easily. And then the bottom 2 buttons here are for the CB option. There is a CB option for these if you like to ride in a group and want that CB, so you can add that as well. And then this does have the heel toe shifter on this side. Very, very nice. On this side you can see that air valve right here for putting air in those shocks. And this one is called, I just about forgot already. Let me see if I can look it up. I was going to try to be good and tell you the color on this bike. I believe it was graphite gray and metallic spark black. But if you'll bear with me a minute, I will look. So pearl meteor gray, pearl meteor gray with metallic spark black, and then there's kind of a blue teal pinstripe there that breaks up those 2 colors. But really, really looks great. Like I said, I think the Voyager 1700, I know it's not as sophisticated as, say, a Goldwing or maybe the Harley, but at $14,000, like our 2020 model we have on sale, at least as the time of making of this video, at $14,299. In some cases, that may be half price of those motorcycles, and so you really get a lot for your money here. One other thing I wanted to show you on these are liquid cooled. Some of the early model Voyagers, there was a lot of complaints about heat from the radiator getting back to the rider. And so what Kawasaki has done from the early Voyagers, this has been the same for a few years. This is not new for 2021, but they added these filler panels that kind of close this in. So what they're doing is they're redirecting the air off of the radiator underneath the motorcycle, as opposed to having it coming around where it would hit your legs. And then right here is a little duct, and I'll go around the other side and I'll show you. But in here is an electric fan, and then that duct is open right down here on the bottom. And that duct runs over to the other side, right here, right on the other side. So when the radiator fan comes on, that little fan comes on, and that fan is designed to pull hot air away from this head pipe and down low, so to keep that away from both the driver and the passenger. These do have nice big tail light LED in the fender, as well as a nice big LED strips across the tour box there, the trunk, and then the dual pipes, one on each side of the wheel. Very appropriate looking for a touring cruiser. All right, I don't think I left much out, but the Voyager 1700 is still very, very relevant to the market today. I think just like Kawasaki did with their early Voyager 1200, the Voyager 12, that was available for many years from about, I don't know, 86 all the way up to about 2005 or 6. You could buy the Voyager 12, and that bike was a really great bargain back in its day as well, and it was quite popular. And I think that Kawasaki's continued that. This bike has been unchanged now. It was first introduced in '09, and just some minor updates, but he's been largely unchanged since '09. But that's part of what lets us maybe offer one of these at $14,299 in some cases. Again, 2021 MSRP $17,699. But like I said, we've got a 2020 model in stock. Great deal on that one if you're looking for one of these. All right, that's a look at the 2021 Kawasaki Vulcan 1700 Voyager. I didn't mention maybe these are equipped with ABS, and it also has the Kawasaki K-Act system. Early on with the Voyager, there were two versions, non-ABS and ABS. We only sell it with ABS now. So, all right, once again, we are Mainland Cycle Center. We're located in Marque, Texas. We're about 30 minutes south of downtown Houston, just off of I-45. You can find us online at mainlandcyclecenter.com or by phone at 409-948-4969. And we would just love it if you'd give us a call, shoot us an email, or even better, come on down to Mainland Cycle Center, where we'd love to help any way that we can. Hey, thanks for watching.